Cheated on by husband. We belonged together 7 years. So me 24 years and my husband 31 years have been together since 2017. We got pregnant fast with our son, who's now 5, soon to be 6. And then we quickly followed along with our daughter, who's 4, about to be 5. We married in 2019, and things haven't always been great. We've had a lot of family drama, but we would always get through it. He works pipeline, so he would work a lot and try to not take fat jobs. While I was pregnant with our son, I just traveled with him. Also, he was previously married to his ex-wife of 7 years, but they had no children and he kept their house. It was basically a shell of a house. So in 2019, we started working on the house, preparing it, so me and the kids could move in, so we could permanently stay in the home instead of the camper traveling with him. Because I knew we would have to be home for them to start school whenever we met. I was in college for nursing, but I quit because of finding out I was pregnant and wanting to just travel with him for work, just so we can get more time together to become closer. Also, we had always known each other all of our lives, but never really talked or gotten involved until then. So we finally moved in 2020, and he would work jobs where he'd be home every weekend. Well, in 2022, work was super slow, and we was gonna lose my car. So he took a job all the way in Kentucky, about 14 hours from US, I think it was, and he was gone from July to November, only coming home a few times. And when he did come home, he was completely different. He seemed so depressed and uninterested in me, and I didn't understand it. He told me that he was depressed and felt different, I guess, just being gone from home for so long. Well, since then things have somewhat been better, but he would only come home like every other weekend, and we got somewhat closer. But he would still be kind of distant, and we would argue a lot, because just of suspicious things happening that would lead me to believe he was cheating. But when we would talk about it early, get brought up, he would get so upset and so mad, so it just made it worse between us. Well then, a few months ago, his sister and her husband was telling me how they were suspecting cheating, and I guess always in the back of my mind, I thought that that was probably what was going on. But he was always the biggest person against cheating, and I could just never seen him doing anything like that. Well, October 2023, we share Amazon account, and one day, I got a notification of a lot of baby shower things being delivered to this address, and Louisiana, the neighboring state, to us. I thought it was strange, and I asked him about it, and he said he let a friend use his Amazon and that him and his wife were having twins, and it just didn't make sense to me, and he got mad at me about it, whoever. Since then, I had been suspicious, and he just played it off. Well then in December, my sister-in-law came to visit, and as we were sitting there, she told me she had to tell me something. She had put a tracker on his truck one weekend that he was home, and then every other weekend, he would go to that address, that same one from the Amazon account. So I ended up confronting him about it, and he finally told me that the reason he always said he wished he never went on the Kentucky job was because he slept with somebody first. He told me that it was a drunken night with coworkers and that he was asleep when it first happened, but woke up and realized what was going on, and that he just kept going, and also that she got pregnant from it, and that they had been together for about 6 months, that he felt the need to try to pursue some kind of relationship with her because he knew that me and him would be over, but he could never bring himself to divorce me. Well then, of course, I was very upset, depressed, and heartbroken for me and my children, and I told him we was no longer going to be together, and he was very upset. So we ended up talking it out. He signed our house over to me, and then we ended up talking one night. He came back into town, and I told him that we could try to work things out. Well then, a few days later, my sister-in-law called me and told me to sit down. She said that a woman messaged her asking if her brother was okay, because he said that he had been sick in the hospital and that he wasn't answering his phone, and we would have never guessed it was this woman. She was an older woman and had 3 other children from 3 previous relationships, and it just surprised me because he was always saying he would never take care of someone else's children. Well, she ended up messaging the girl back and said, "You better talk to his wife, he's at home." So I ended up talking to the girl, and she told me that they first hooked up in October 2022, and since then they had been on and off, and that she was pregnant with their baby. And once I found out, I confronted him. I left that day with the kids, and then that next day he was gonna leave the house, but his truck keys were in my car, so I drove him back when I got back to the house. He was sitting in our yard with a gun to his chest, I guess, contemplating shooting himself. So of course, I called the cops and he went into our building in the back, and they was finally able to talk the gun from him. and they took him into their car and he was sent to a behavioral center. He was there for maybe a week. Once it was time for him to get out, I picked him up and he came back home and we just kind of talked things out. It's been over a month since it all happened and came out, and I'm still in shock about it. And it's crazy as it sounds. We have sat there and talked about it and have been trying to work things out, and surprisingly, it has been more good than bad. But I still have a lot of bad days, and I still sit here and think to myself a lot, and I'm making the right decision. Is this just crazy? Is there any possible way we can come back from this? He says that he loved her and that the only reason he pursued any kind of relationship with her was because she was the person that he cheated on me with, and he thought that he lost me forever, and he just thought he had to be with her. He said he was lost all this time, and really, honestly, since we have started trying again, things have been really good. He has changed a lot in a lot of ways, but of course I sit there and I wonder, is it always going to be like this or something else? The other woman claims that she wants nothing to do with him, but I honestly feel like she would take him back in a heartbeat because he was providing a lot for her. Supposedly, of course, he will have to pay child support with her if the paternity test comes back that it's his. But I just don't know. I lost a lot of times myself too, if this is the right thing or not. I love him very much, and I surprised myself a lot that I still felt love for him and want to be together. After all this crazy stuff came out, I'm sorry. This is very long, and lots of rambling. I talked text, so it may be messy, just looking for someone to talk to. I guess I know I probably let out lots of details, but this is the main thing, I guess. Don't cancel it. He's already proven he's unreliable. If I'm reading correctly, this in the second woman, her cheated with. Does he have 2 babies on the way? Or get kept going back to that one, and not the older woman? Focus on you and your kids. You will never be able to run at him again. And the only Rionbiol are crying again as he threatened to end himself? How long will he act? Right until he gets stressed about something else. I'm assuming he is going to want to see this new child by her. So that means he may step out again. Sound like you, going to constantly go through emotional turmoil. He might just be sticking around right now and pretending to work on things just to get you to drop the child support. Do not drop the child support. Keeping him on it is the smartest decision. You are right. Do not let him convince you otherwise. Your kids come first, period. If he does wind up leaving because you get child support payments, then I'd say the trash took itself out. Because he didn't have a relationship with her, because he felt he had to, because he lose you, he wanted to. It's evident with how depressed and distant he was when he was with you during that time. Trust your gut, and I don't believe he got her pregnant the first time they slept together. Do the dates even line up with how far along she is? It doesn't really matter he lied to you, but anyway, good luck, internet stranger. Story 2. Hey everyone, I am just working through this recent situation I've been through, and I'm trying to understand what happened. 3 weeks ago, my fiancée abruptly dumped me. She did it over text and email. She immediately blocked me everywhere and went completely no contact. When she left me, she accused me of being all of these terrible things. Never in our relationship before had she said anything along these lines. I was totally shocked to hear it. She accused me of being possessive and controlling. The only reason she gave me is that I wanted to hang out as much as possible. We were long distance, but both had visited each other's countries and were very serious about each other. We would spend a good portion of the day in video chat. We would spend several hours every day consistently hanging out, watching TV, playing games, or chatting. Usually, she always indicated that she wanted to hang out with me as much as I did her. I never pushed her or tried to force her to hang out with me. She was always a willing participant and eagerly wanted to hang out too. Then suddenly at the end, I was possessive and controlling for wanting to hang out with her the way we always have. Is it controlling and possessive to want to hang out with your significant other for several hours every day? She also accused me of being manipulative. The reason I was given was because in the past, she had left me a few times before. She is a very avoidant person, and anytime there was a hint of a problem, she would completely shut down and stonewall me. However, I was persistent in getting her to open up and communicate with me and keep trying in the relationship. I never thought that was manipulation, but at the end, she said it was, I just wanted to have open communication and to try to save our relationship. She has PMDD, and it would regularly negatively affect our relationship. Every time she left me in the past, it was on her cycle. She would have a meltdown, usually scream and cry for a little bit, and then completely shut down. After she would shut down, I would reach out and try to smooth things over. She now says that was manipulation. When we first got together, she lied to me about the number of partners she had. She told me she had slept with 12 people, but months later, the truth came out that it was triple, that I always had trouble trusting her. After that, what else did she lie about to protect her image? She also accused me of being extremely insecure and jealous. The reason why is because a month or so before we broke up, I Googled her name and found some old posts from back when she did YouTube. She was doing a question and answer with viewers, and she was extremely attractive with them. I was surprised by that, and when I talked to her about it, she became extremely upset with me over it, I guess. I just felt like she was always hiding something else from me. When we got together, she was married. We met and fell in love online. 3 days after we admitted our feelings, she separated from him and kicked him out. It's been over a year since that, and she still hasn't gotten a divorce though. I will admit I was insecure. Not at first, but I became so over time. Does that insecurity make me a bad person? Should I have just forced it down? Doesn't make you a bad person at all. Honestly, she is likely working things out with her husband. More than likely, he told her she had to get rid of you. So making you the problem and blocking you is to probably please her husband. Take time for yourself and let her go. Be stronger and stop paying attention to her. Don't talk nonsense about yourself and move only forward. Don't linger on people who slow you down, and good luck to you in the future. Knowing only your side of it, I think it's best for you to simply let her go because she doesn't sound like she's worth the trouble. Bro, don't waste so much effort and patience on her. Sometimes you just need to let go of a person and move on. The most important thing is to develop. First of all, think about yourself in this situation. You deserve more. You know yourself that she communicated with you and gave false hopes, realizing at the same time that she is married and lied. As for the number of your partners, I don't think she's worthy of your attention, considering how she treated you. So be more confident in yourself and keep going forward. Good luck in the future. Story 3. So Zoe, fake name, 24 years, was approached by a guy. Michael, fake name, 27 years. A few years back, I was apprehensive to talk to him at first because Michael had a reputation of being a playboy. But slowly, in span of months, we developed a bond. At least I did. He said he liked me and all, but I wasn't so sure because I still didn't trust him. Months later, after we officially became a couple. This was after I have talked to him that I have trust issues, and he clarified each one of them. I mean, we had several deep conversations and I did like him a lot. Red flags were always there. One of his friends told me that he has a long-term girlfriend, and I asked Michael directly about this. He said that he's friends with his ex and there's nothing going on. I knew about this friend's part, and I believed him. In short, what happened was, he was still in relationship with his long-term partner, Mandy, and he was also seeing another girl, Cindy, on side, and I was the third one. And whole 2 years I was with him, I loved him. And in a way, he manipulated me, not to leave him, even though he used to treat me poorly. He used to ignore me for days. He used to go out with his other girlfriends. I came to know about this when his first girlfriend contacted me. This was 1 year back. I was devastated to know that he was cheating on me the whole time. And so was she. I tried to leave him many times, but he apologized, cried and promised to stay loyal, and I forgave him. Every time he did same to Cindy, and she also forgave him. After Mandy left him, he dated me and the other girl. Cindy, I didn't know. He was still seeing Cindy. He lied to me many times about where he was. Few months back, I checked his phone and found texts between him and Cindy, and immediately broke up with him. Then again, he apologized, and he also broke up with Cindy on text. Now Cindy also came to know that he's still in relationship with me. Few weeks later, Cindy contacted me and told me that my boyfriend is still texting her, and I broke up with him again. He apologized again, and this time it was evident that he has changed. I mean, now he treats me very good, and I can see that he's serious about me. I introduced me to his family, and he constantly keeps talking about marriage. I mean, I do love him. It's been 5 months. I am 100% sure he's not seeing or texting anyone else. He does say he loves me, and we do have many, many nice memories. Also, besides the cheating part and the way he manipulated me to cover up with lying, I'm still not able to forgive him completely now. He knows if he ever does that again, I will leave him for sure. And I know that he won't do that again. I don't want to leave him because now he has become the boyfriend I wanted him to be. My question is that now that he's been a perfect boyfriend, should I try to forgive all his past mistakes, or am I being overly stupid for this? How are you even able to trust this man? He was with 3 girls at once, and you were honest. You have trust issues, and he took the time to lie to your face and make you wrongly trust him. I think letting him back into your life is asking for trouble and more trust issues. I think you should already forget about him and move in your own direction, since such a relationship deprives you of precious time, which is much more expensive than the time you spent on him. I believe that you will make the right decision. I wish you good luck. By forgiving him and staying with him each time he violates your trust, you're letting him know you will tolerate it as long as he seems like he's regretful. This man is a walking red flag, and you're frankly being stupid if you pursue a serious relationship with a man who is obviously incapable of having a serious relationship.